And here we are with the second match from Group D of the beginners tournament hosted by organized by Barracuda. This time we've got Goomba in blue and Findstormer in red. As usual, we'll be going up to 2 times speed for pick phase. And then we're going to do our map analysis. We have a big island map, a couple of smaller islands around. Worth noting there's a big, or quite a few ports in this trade network down here in the southwest rather. So lots of extra eco down here in the southwest available. Now both players overlapping pretty considerably on their first picks, both focusing on the center of the map, a very strategically strong position. Perfect overlap on the big island as well. Right now, looks like Findstormer, I think, has the stronger position. Goomba only really has this position, this little peninsula. Another peninsula up here. But Findstormer has better access into the center and could potentially cut Goomba off from getting out of this peninsula if Goomba does decide to start here. There is ambiguity though for Goomba. He could start in the northwest or in the northeast. These are all pretty similar positions. The northeast would be pretty good. Like, yes, there's only one territory here to get into the center, but it's very unlikely. Like, there's almost no way that Goomba's or that Findstormer will be close to him should he start here. This could also be good. It just has that extra territory separation. Alright. Well, both players going to start in the south. Goomba is taking the southwest peninsula, which could be good. Like, there's definitely some upside to this position. He's got the eco sites that will help him, continue to grow, even if his ability to get into the center of the map is limited. Like, even if he's got restricted access here, he does still have a bit of growth in these in these farms and towns. Going for a shipyard immediately, which I like. I like to see that he's thinking about transport and getting off the island. Strong production as well, right at the front. Also very good. Very strong production start from Findstormer as well. He didn't have any eco sites here to start off with, it looks like, so airport, 2 factory, and then a couple of barracks afterwards. So we see both players immediately react to first contact. Goomba is digging in. It's okay. Yeah, this is okay. I don't mind him being defensive, or I think it's a good idea to be defensive here, since he's put that capital into the shipyard already. Also has a airport on the way. I see commandos, so might be looking to also go commando jet. Get some commando drops going on, which I think is probably a bit overkill on the transport. Like, this is like between the shipyard, the airport, the commandos, and the transport jet. Like, that's a lot of capital that you're dedicating to something other than military. But if Goomba's able to get up one of these trade routes, that will help. If he's able to get up this trade route especially, this is a short little trade route, so that could be very powerful. But yeah, if he's able to start getting these trade routes going, this peninsula could be enough. It immediately goes to the northwest. Also a good spot. I like him getting it an alternate position on this main island. Now he is bleeding a couple of units here just from like not really having a blue command here to hold his units back from going out in small numbers and getting annihilated. We see Findstormer making a lot of blue moves, or making good use of the blue moves. Also has directed his helicopters north, so Findstormer making very strong moves to stop this breakout attempt, so that's a strong move. This, I don't like this. I think this is a waste of infantry here. Like running into range to dig in. I mean, maybe it can work. Because then you're, like, you do this and all of your, like, all that digging in infantry is definitely going to die. Right? Like, they're all dead. Like, they're not going to trade well at all. But then, like, maybe subsequent infantry could do a bit better. Like, then your subsequent infantry that runs in and fills that defense line could trade pretty well. Or gets better trades. It still doesn't seem worth it, though. Goomba's northern breakout attempt gets shut down. He dropped a second squad of infantry over here. Probably should have put those further north. Either put them further north or over here on, like, one of the islands. But he's got them out here, so Goomba is out here on the island. Where's that transport? Transport's going over here. I think it would have been better to go straight for this energy well, since Goomba doesn't have energy on this peninsula or up here in the northwest. Let's take a look at the economies. Goomba is at 360. Findstormer at 380. Both of them taxing their economies very heavily. Pushing their economies very hard. Plus 20 for Goomba. Plus 31 for Findstormer, so not growing particularly quickly. This is a lot of production, though, for this early in the game. A lot of expensive production. Findstormer has a pretty good position here with the artillery, taking advantage of this very infantry-heavy defense line of Goomba. Also taking advantage of the fact that Goomba has no air defense. We need to see Sam start immediately. Especially coming out of one factory. Findstormer gonna try another assault. Doesn't have his artillery in position to support this yet, though. Probably should have held off on moving the infantry forward. We see destroyers coming out of the shipyard for Goomba. I like destroyers. Very fast units, good vision, good capture, but with 3 helicopters already hitting him, probably would like to see some air or some missile bullets. Looks like he's actually stopped production here. Second transport on the way. Probably doesn't need that. I don't even see commandos being built, so. Game is slowed down a lot. Findstormer completely out of energy. Does have a refinery on the way. Commando drops of his own planned. No eco sites back here, but I don't think there are any available. Oh, there's a town and port here. but this economy is being pushed very hard. Now, I was about to say, with the failure of that assault, like, that leaves Findstormer open to counterattack. I don't like this blue line. This is especially a one-lane blue line. I think Goomba should have focused on killing this group of artillery here while it was isolated. Get on top, like, kill this artillery and bring overwhelming forces and completely crush it. Because he's only attacking with like a small portion of his infantry, like, this fight's dragging. And the fight's dragging out. Helicopters are going to get over here in time to save this. Some of it, anyway. So this artillery actually ends up trading really well. This is capture mode. Still not the directive that Goomba needs here. So, a little inefficient with the micro. Or rather inefficient with the micro here. It's going to cost Goomba a lot of troops and make it so that this counterattack has really no momentum. I like this dot. Oh wait, that's a helicopter. Order. Yeah, it's a helicopter sortie. Okay, Goomba does have some energy production. Power plant in the northwest. Also barracks going up over there. Let's see, 470 for Goomba, 490 for Findstormer. Still very close. Got a red commando drop headed to the north end of Goomba's peninsula. Looks like Goomba's out of energy already. So he's got 4 boats moving, 2 helicopters, 1 power plant. Definitely not going to be enough to power that. Now we see Findstormer really getting onto the central island. There's still only 2 commandos down here. Probably would have been better for... I was going to say, probably would have been better for Goomba to put his barracks down there on that island. But he does need production in the northwest as well. He's got the capital for it now, so I don't know, it's probably better to take this northwest position, put another barracks up there. We saw that Findstormer had a kind of collection of artillery that weren't routed anywhere, so now those on the move, shipyard on the way for Findstormer. I wonder if we're going to see him go for a commando drop onto these southwestern islands. Or if we're going to see transports here. Are we going to see transports or warships out of this shipyard? Findstormer once again going to go for this big move to the north. Second factory on the way for Goomba, finally getting SAMs. There's already, what, 3 helicopters down here, 2 helicopters up here. There's like a 5 helicopter advantage for Findstormer. There's 1 SAM on the field for Goomba. Like, SAMs make quicker and are cheaper than helicopters or any of the aircraft. So, I feel like you can come at them with you can build your SAMs a little late. Like, you can build the SAMs later than the helicopters and still outproduce them fairly quickly. But, you know, 6 helicopters on the field before you have 2 SAMs is going to be very difficult. And Goomba did not respond to that commando drop. These commandos have captured a territory. Findstormer's got a barracks on the way here. And now the commandos blue dotted right next to the airport. I don't think they really had a chance to get damage here, but they see the airport, they know where it's at. Of course, there's not a lot of space here for it to hide. And Goomba had already shown the helicopters. Yeah. Findstormer getting a very scary number of helicopters up. Probably has a pretty decent income advantage at this point as well. We definitely need to see a second refinery for Findstormer with this many helicopters plus his shipyard now, or his first ship now done. 610 for Findstormer, 540 for Goomba. So getting close to that, getting close to 100 capital per minute advantage for Findstormer. Another assault on the left flank of Goomba's position here. Small counterattack from the right for Goomba. This is capture move, so not moving particularly quickly. Also, they are single lane, so they're going to be going single file. Okay, blue line. So we got a move command here. Goomba setting up a secondary defense position. It would be good for Goomba to bring his destroyers down here, actually. Get a second power plant set up. There's that commando drop from Findstormer onto the southwest island. Still no production here for Goomba. Goomba sitting on almost, or he's on 370 capital. Plus 88, so that economy's still hurting. Never did build these industries. None of these eco sites. So that's hurting him quite a bit. Findstormer now getting eco sites. Has this farm. I don't see anything else for him. 300 capital. He can definitely add something. Plus 141. So at plus 141, I would say go for an eco site. I mean, he is also going for an attack at this time, so it might. So he could go for a, what's it called? More production to kind of support this attack. Looks like once again we see this close defense line from Findstormer, producing commandos out of his barracks. I think it would have been better to go for infantry here, but going commandos. Still, these guys are blue dotted, so only one of these commandos is hitting the airport. Here we go. Now we see Findstormer really starting to grow. What can Goomba do? Goomba's adding a barracks in the southwest. Goomba has transports. So I think the... fuck. I was gonna say the best thing Goomba could do is transport some units somewhere else on the map. The best thing Goomba could do is build eco, I think. down here in the southwest. He's got production here, so he needs economy. Like, his growth has been completely stymied everywhere. He needs interceptors or something. Like, he needs factories and air defense. He needs SAMs. Findstormer hasn't added a bunch of production yet. Overproduced transports out of the shipyard, so that's a little extra capital. Goomba needs to counterattack with this right flank. These artillery aren't doing anything. He needs to bring those up to support his left flank. I'm gonna bring in helicopters, but there is a big dot of SAMs here. 6 SAMs against 6 helicopters. If the helicopters aggro onto the SAMs, they're gonna trade okay. But yeah, this position is actually really good for the SAMs. They're gonna get a great engagement here. 2 helicopters are down almost before they get any damage out. Yeah. That was really rough. That was really rough for Goomba. He had vision of those SAMs, so this was not a good place to order that attack for the helicopters. Good job by Findstormer seeing those helicopters almost as soon as they took off and responding by bringing his SAMs in a little bit closer. Yeah, now we've got a lot of production. It's not even a lot of production, it's just that Findstormer has retained his units really well. So just overwhelming military force on the field. And Goomba just still just capping with his navy. He definitely needs to be getting more value than just capture value out of this group of ships. It's only 2 ships or 4 ships, but this is not enough. Hasn't responded to this incursion from Findstormer yet either on the southwest island. We did see another factory get started for Goomba, or finish up rather. His northwest position is going to go down. There's no air defense up here either. So he took this northwest island. Goes for a town, he needs to get the farms. The farms, because he needs money now. Like by the time this town is finished, like he's gonna be losing production buildings. And Findstormer's still gonna push forward with this, or he's still gonna like leapfrog forward with these defensive positions, or these defense lanes. Town on the way for Findstormer. 898 for Findstormer, 680 for Goomba. Yeah. I think the writing's on the wall here for this one. I don't see anything Goomba can do. Finally does respond to this red landing. 4 commandos have gotten by his vision though. So Goomba sees some of this infantry moving north. Findstormer has the commandos blue dotted, sees production. So Goomba might be able to hold that southwest. We can kind of see both theaters here, both the important fronts anyway. Findstormer once again leapfrogs forward with that defense line. Yeah, Goomba just doesn't see those commandos at the factory here. And that's going to trigger this attack from Findstormer. Red helicopters making their way over as well. That's going to make this fight much more difficult for this blue infantry. Airstrip, no. Was that an airstrip? It sounded like an airstrip. Maybe it was a refinery or something. Oh, there it is. Airstrip. This barracks is still here, producing it. No, it's a second barracks. So Goomba killed the first barracks, but never captured the territory, so Findstormer, with all this extra capital, just builds another one. Here we go, 5-lane attack. This red infantry does get taken down, but only 4 infantry left here. That's not going to be enough to take on these 2 helicopters. And the commandos take down the barracks. Gonna take down the factory as well, I think. Goomba has finally responded. Findstormer doesn't seem to want to use target commands for his commandos for some reason. It's completely broken through the northwest, and there's nothing left for Goomba. 1073 for Findstormer, and that's it. GG. So I think that was a bit of a pick phase win for Findstormer there. Really, all he needed to do was keep Goomba on that peninsula, and he did a good job of doing that. Moved quickly to get in a position with that strong production start, able to stop Goomba from being able to expand by land. Goomba, for his part, needed to quickly get off of his main peninsula, which he actually did succeed to do. He got up into the northwest with the squad. He had another squad of infantry that he dropped directly into the center, and then he airdropped some commandos to that southwest island. But what really sunk Goomba, I think there was a bit of an overcommitment to early transport tech. You know, he had the shipyard, the transports, the airport, and the transport jet, and the commandos. So that's a lot of extra production time and capital. But the bigger problem was he didn't build his eco sites. He didn't get his farms up, didn't get his towns up, and that made it, and that really stunted his development economically. So, but yeah, good game from both guys, and that is 1-0 to Findstormer.